Good afternoon. I'm here with Ken McNabb at the Idaho Horse Expo. Ken, it is so good to see you again. It's been 10 long years, and I thought I would ask you a couple of things. First of all, tell me a little bit about what's changed in the horse industry from your perspective in the last 10 years, and then tell me about your horse sale.
Okay, so the horse industry has exploded really in the last 5 years. If we go back 10 years, markets were relatively low. The horse industry was kind of making a slow but steady comeback. 5 years ago, we had a perfect storm. We had COVID hit, and it hit at the almost exact same time as Yellowstone hit. And I'll be honest with you, I've never watched an episode of Yellowstone, but it had a huge impact. It had a bonanza-like impact on the horse industry. If we go back to the silver screen era, and then we had all of those kids that really fell in love with Roy Rogers and Gene Autry, and they grew up watching that, and it morphed into Gunsmoke, and then eventually into Bonanza, and that was really what drove our horse industry for a long time. Well, that kind of waned, and it kind of fell off. And we had a boost from, in Western lifestyles, kind of had a boost from 8 seconds in the 90s, and then it kind of waned again. And so you look at 2020, and we have COVID hit, and everybody is kind of sick of being locked in the house, and they have dreams they want to do, they want to go do them. And that at the same time as Yellowstone, and the horse industry has just exploded in all aspects of it. We're seeing growth in every single element of the horse industry, from driving horses to rein cow horses, from 3-day eventing to trail. It doesn't matter where it's at. We're seeing this huge explosion of growth, which is really cool. We're getting lots of new people into the industry, lots of people without a lot of education, and that changes the market a lot because all of a sudden, that horse that we almost considered retired a few years ago has a real need. We have a real need for that horse now. And so that horse that a few years ago was, maybe 18 to 25, and we were like, find a little kid and give it to him. Now all of a sudden, that horse has a value. Young horses have a value because we can't even find 5-year-old geldings. So we're buying 3-year-old geldings and training them and bringing them along. And so what's happened has been a really healthy amount of growth in the horse industry. And how that's transferred into my own life personally is clinics are just packed. We announce a clinic and it books in a week. We just do not have time. Once we put a clinic out there, most of them book quickly. We have waiting lists for many of the things we're doing. Most of the time we're booked out. I actually had to put the brakes on last year. My office gals told me, they said, look, we are booked 18 months out, and if you'll let us, we can book to 24 to 30 months out. And I just said, no. Nobody knows what they're really doing 30 months from now.
Yeah.
Let's slow down, hold on. I want to go back to 12 months out. Let's back off. So I did. I set the brakes and we waited, and then we announced a bunch of stuff this spring, and it booked instantly. So I love that. That's what the explosion has done. How's it affected our horse sale? Our horse sale has just steadily grown for this is 17th year of actual sales. We have a fall sale now. We do a online fall offering. It's a much smaller offering of horses. Our spring sale has, somewhere between 80 to 90 horses. I think this year we were at like 85 horses cataloged. And that's an in-person sale, and it's a great event. But in the last 5 years, we've started a fall offering that is an online offering only. You can come in person and try the horses if you want, but the sale itself happens all digitally. And that's a big change in the horse industry. We're seeing that all over. You're seeing these digital sale sites where you can attend a virtual sale from horses all over the United States. And so that's a big change in the industry. And I like to try to stay cutting edge in what we're doing. And so we've delved into that, and we've started adding that into our program for our sales. So I think when you look at the horse industry, one of the most exciting things about me is that all of that healthy growth has really done one major thing. We were losing all of our young people to other industries. Because face it, ranch kids could go get a job in the oil fields for $120,000 a year, or they could train horses for $20,000 a year, right? And so girls on the East Coast could go get a degree and go .com for 6 figures, or they could stay in the barn and train for $35,000 a year. And so now what's happening is our young people are staying in the industry because all of a sudden they can make the same money that their friends were making. And so we're actually getting to hold on to some of our young people, in not just in the horse industry, but in all of agriculture. We're actually getting to hold on to some of our young people, as there's actually now a value for them and a place for them to work and a place for them to earn enough money to feed a family. So I think that's been a huge change in the industry that I'm really excited about. I'm really proud that I got to be there to be a part of it and to watch it all.
Well, the other thing is, I was talking to Dee Dee, and she was mentioning that your horses, sometimes you ride them a year, sometimes even 2 years before they're in the sale. So you're getting a lot of, those horses have got a lot of, they're broke by the time they get sold.
So I'm selling a horse this year we call Redman. Redman is I'm going to guess here, he's registered horse, home raised. I think he's 9 this year. So that's a horse we've had all his life, been bringing him along. And we'll have horses that we bought a year ago that are in the sale, up to Redmond, who's been with us for 9 years, his whole life. And so we try to put a ton of time into our horses. When I sell a horse, I want to be able to say with ultimate confidence what all he has done. I know what that horse has done. I know where he's at. So that's taken a lot of years to be able to get. When we started our sale, we set the rule that no horses had been with us for less than a year, and we've just lived with that. That allows us to see him in all 4 seasons, so we can tell you, the customer, well, this is what he's like after Christmas break. This is what he's like after green grass in the spring. But now we've been building constantly to where we could come to you with horses that have a lot more time. This year in the sale, I just mentioned Redmond. Trent's on Tigger, who's a 5-year-old home raised. He's on Mouse, who is a 5-year-old horse that I bought as a 3-year-old. So we've been riding him for 2 years. So we just have so many of these horses. Kurt's on Ranger, who's a 5-year-old we bought as a 3-year-old. We have so many of these horses that are home raised, so many of these horses that we bought young and brought along, because quite simply we just can't raise enough to meet the demands of what we're doing. We just don't have enough room to raise that many horses. So it's really fun to be able to sit on horses now for 3 or 4 years and to make a real individual, a horse that you're really proud of. Kurt has a horse that'll probably be offered in the fall sale. That's a 5-year-old mare that we raised from birth. He's got a 5-year-old mare that he's riding right now that we raised from birth that'll be a next year's sale as a 6-year-old. One of my guys, Donald Archer, is riding a mare this year that we raised from birth. Justin Hatfield's riding horses we raised from birth. So my riders have been with me forever, and now we're able to bring horses to you that we've been riding all of their lives. We started them as 2-year-olds, and here they are. We know everything about them, and so that's a real plus for us. We're really excited about that.
Nothing like safe horses, and that's huge, to turn out horses that are safe. And so, Ken, thank you so much. When is your sale again?
It's always the first Saturday in June, which this year happens to be June 7th.
Okay. All right, so if you're looking for a good horse, you need to go see Ken, and then he will also, in a clinic, show you how to make that horse work better. And thank you so much, Ken. It's really good to see you again. It's been too long. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much.